The Jill Valentine update for the tier list is finally here, so let's talk a little bit about our final verdict, honest review, whatever you want to call these videos, where she's on the tier list, how to properly build her, and a few more changes we've made here on our Loot and Waifus tier list. Links in the description if you prefer to go read her review instead of watching this video. And of course, before we start, hello degenerates, welcome back to Loot and Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, Jill Valentine build and why she's a T2 TLDR. If you don't want to watch the whole video, she is a good unit, T2 character. She is basically similar to Ain, characters that are strong for their element, strong on electric content right now, but you will barely see outside of their element. I will say Ada is easier to use as a buffer on any team that you need rather than Jill right now, but that's just me. That said, let's go into the actual full build and some of the changes we've made on the tier list, because there is a couple more things. So we're gonna start on B1. The only changes you'll see on B1 is that Tia now is a situational character, a T3. Tia is a character that overall usage in PvE has been decreasing. Now, this doesn't mean she's a bad character. I'm tired of saying this. Guys, a T3 doesn't mean a character is bad. You can't use them, it's fine. Okay, stop taking everything at face value and read the reviews. Tia is a unit that, when paired with Naga, is fantastic. Outside of pairing her with Naga, and even on raids nowadays, she's losing more and more and more usage, and we see her less and less because there is more options, and Naga can be a slot into any team without Tia, and Tia still needs to be with her in order to fully work. So that's the only change on B1, Tia going down. When it comes to B2s, I don't think anything has changed. Everything is the same. And when it comes to B3, there are 3 changes. First of all, once again, Jill has been added as a T2 character, good unit. Red Hood, I know, I can't wait to see the comments, has been moved down from flexible meta to good unit. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Her only usage is B1 buffer. Her damage is great, and that's why she's still a good unit, but she's barely used. Even if you look at most raids, not Iron Week of course, you barely will see her at all. She is still putting really good damage numbers, but just because you put good damage numbers doesn't mean you are a flexible meta pick. It's quite different, right? Those are characters that you can slot anywhere and they will work really well, do great damage regardless of the content, regardless of the element, right? And Red Hood has lost that spot nowadays. So she has been moved down to T2, Mid Hood again. And the other change is Made Privacy. T3, she's moved down from T2. Made Privacy just gets no usage. Like, even if we talk about electric content, yeah, sure, electric content, you can still see her, but outside of that, you never see her anymore. The only reason you would be using her is if you are using Leona, because Leona is the only character that can increase the damage for pellet-related skills, which is Leona and it's Dorothy, if I remember correctly, Dorothy Serendipity. And even Leona is barely used nowadays. The moment Shift Up released Dorothy Serendipity, it's the moment shotgun compositions change, and now instead of bothering bringing Leona, you are better off bringing Grave, Bunny Aid, or any other buffer that will increase her damage rather than just running normal shotgun compositions. So it's more options, but at the same time it means the old ones are kinda lost in there. I hope Shift Up buffs her, or make a treasure for her, or release characters that actually can work well with pellets. The pellet mechanic is really interesting, but it's just not there. That said, enough jumping about the tier list. That is the changes we've made. Let's actually go directly to Jill Valentine and why she is a T2 character. First of all, I'm going to be switching to my account. My account is not built. If you want to see results and the damage test we ran, I was on the previous video on a properly invested account because I don't have resources. Guys, I'm fucking poor right now, okay? We have no resources. I have no credits. I have no battle data set. It's like actually Jover. I'm waiting for the anniversary. I'll probably build those characters, those 2 characters, rather than building Jill and whatever we're getting next, because it's just there is not enough resources. Even more so if I'm trying to build all of them, just like a 777, just like level 0 overload, I can't. I don't have enough gear. Right now my biggest problem is starting to actually lack gear, and that the selectors take a while to get, so it's kind of hard to use them on random characters, like for example Jill. I would prefer to use my selector on someone else, right? That's it, enough jumping. Let's actually go into Jill Valentine character page and talk about why she is a T2 character, a great unit. A TLDR, if you want to see how she works, is basically you can just leave her on auto, forget about everything, and she's going to be doing great damage on her own. Thank you to this modifier, which is basically increasing the normal attack damage for 9 rounds, which is her base max ammo, and thank you to this sustained damage. And then obviously on her burst, she will also deal true damage on her normal shots. She's an assault rifle that is slower than other assault rifles, but her damage output can rival even be better than something like Ain, like I was saying earlier. Ain is a fantastic electro DPS, right? And Jill comes in here being auto-friendly, being a character that requires less investment on the lines because you don't need to worry about elemental and attack and you're good to go. And that's why we put her as a T2 character, because she can rival most of those electro girls and do better with less investment, and being also a cheaper character to build. When it comes to character skill recommendations, I'm gonna be going with a 7-7-10. You could be taking a skill 2 to level 10, but when we were testing, taking this from 4 to 7 or from 7 to 10 wasn't that big of an increase. This sustained damage is good, but you can only apply it to one enemy every 30 seconds. If there are multiple enemies, you can apply it to multiple enemies, one shot for every of them, but you cannot put multiple dot stacks on a boss. So it's good, but it's not gonna be a huge increase in numbers. So a 7-7-10 is more than enough. Her burst is really good damage. You could be taking her skill 1 to level 10 if you wanted like more damage, but it feels a waste for what you're getting in return, which is like what, a 3-4% on the attack damage multiplier and like maybe a 10% on the true damage, which only applies when she's bursting. I don't think it's worth it. So that's for the skills. When it comes to her build, like I was saying earlier, pretty simple character to build. Hopefully this is big enough for you guys to see. When it comes to her cube, the only cube that works for her is Resilience, because she wants to reload faster. Bastion and Adjutant don't work because it's max ammo and it's gonna be fucking up her normal bullets. Assault, because its hit rate would work, but it's Copium. And the other cube that is gonna be Copium as well is Quantum for more burst generation, but those two are XD in contrast to Resilience. So in my opinion, Resilience over Assault and over Quantum for more burst generation. Outside of the cube, the gear is super simple to build because this is a character that you want to avoid max ammo. So you are basically focusing on elemental damage, you're focusing on attack, and then you can focus on hit rate because hit rate will help her shoot the core more consistently. Assault rifles are not that accurate, so they can benefit from this stat. And then crit lines as fillers if you get lucky, right? If you get lucky. And obviously, please avoid max ammo capacity. Now, one of the good things about this character, and this is on the pros, is that this is a modern last bullet character. Even if you get max ammo, it's fine. The only thing you need to worry about if you get max ammo, it's actually manually reloading every 9 bullets. That's it, nothing else. If you manually reload every 9 bullets, you can't get max ammo. But it's a wasted line because you are reloading manually, so why would you even care about getting max ammo? This is good because you can pair her with characters like Trina. Trina only buffs one assault rifle electric, and she is that, right? So Trina will work with Jill. You just need to make sure you are manually reloading to not fuck up your damage on skill 1. Outside of that, she is a great plug and play damage dealer. You don't have to worry about anything. Leave her on auto or manual her. If you are manualing her, most likely you will be able to get in more shots on her burst, which is good. And then lastly, true damage is finally taking some sort of shape. It started as a meme, but now we have like plenty of characters that can actually be put on those teams, be it with your bestie, be it now with Jill, be it with a few of those characters and buffers that are helping. I assume the 3rd anniversary is also going to be true damage. If not, it wouldn't make sense, but we're getting so many of them recently, but we'll see. So that's good because true damage went from a meme to actually having usage. Now we need to wait for pellet-based shotguns to also get usage and for sustained damage, because sustain has like what? One character? That's good. Is there anyone else sustain-wise that is as good as Mihara? I don't think so, no? And then a couple of cons to finish off is that outside of the elemental content, she loses a lot of damage in contrast to obviously better picks like Mihara, like your SBS, like your even a Raven if you want. That is serendipity. Those characters will keep really good damage even outside their elements, but when it comes to Jill, not so much, because she provides nothing. She's a selfish DPS that will work really well on Electro, but that's about it. Obviously, the con of the max ammo, which is not really a con, like we were saying earlier, at least you can manually reload, which kind of helps a little bit to not break the character, but it's worth mentioning. And then lastly is that her sustained damage on skill 2 feels a little bit out of place, because it's a lot harder to scale, unless for anniversary we're getting some great buffers that will work for both true damage and sustain, right? And maybe Nayuta is an incredible buffer for both of those modifiers. We'll see. But on the jumping aside, that's basically the pros, the cons, how to build her, and the reasons as to why she is a T2 character in my opinion, at least for my tier list, which I always have to remind this, but this is just an overall PvE usage tier list. I think she's a great character. I think you should pull better for Ada, because again, a buffer takes more priority right now than something like Jill. Ada can be used on anything, her damage is great, and she's gonna be buffing anyone who is bursting. So I feel she's way more versatile than what Jill can provide at the moment, which is pure damage. And as time goes by, we'll see which one of the two is actually getting pushed out of the meta, because just like any collab, Shift Up loves power creeping one of the characters almost instantly. So Anniversary will power creep one of them 100%. And I'm jumping though, that's gonna be it for this video. As usual, we are live every single day. Link in the description down below. Good luck with your pool, the internets. I'll see you in the next one.